Joking. I'm joking. Let's see where we end up at.
All right, we are live.
Okay, thank you. This begins the deliberations for the August 18th, the Zoning Board of Appeals hearing deliberations. This was a rescheduled meeting, rescheduled to September 1st, but the originating hearing date was August 18th. All right, let's begin.
Okay, so we'll start with case number one. We'll go in order. Any open thoughts here first, folks?
Other than the fact that we keep calling it a drive-through, like it's not really a drive-through, it's like a pickup window.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's different than a drive-through. And typically, like, stuff like this doesn't always make sense, but the way they're using it and in that weird corner, it makes sense to me to continue, allowing people to be able to get in and out faster and just, come up after their 15 minutes and pick up their order and keep right on going.
Yeah, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
For me, this is where I stand, and Johanna, this is where I need some help with, because this is not a challenging one. For me, it's a pretty clear one, but so you can look at this from a use variance perspective. I think a lot of folks I want to take the public comment piece first, which the public comments for me don't really make a lot of sense in a use variance, because they're talking about traffic, and the traffic really doesn't matter if it's a takeout, if they're doing takeout, because the cars are going to utilize the egresses and ingresses no matter what the usage is. So that's really, a drive-through is not impacting that usage anymore, because if I dine in and go in the restaurant, or if it's just a takeout restaurant, you're still utilizing the Gregory Street or the Mount Hope piece. So I'm taking that piece out and sort of looking at this as a use variance and looking at his financial hardship. And it's tough to look at the financial hardship because they started utilizing something that was illegal during COVID. That's sort of the tough part where I am here, because in essence, they shouldn't have been using this illegal use, but obvious, I can say it because I'm not a city employee. It looks like we got a lot of city employees here who this place may be getting some favors. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not work for the city, but I've seen enough of that tonight with this case and heard enough from the applicant to sort of hear that. But I'm glad code enforcement did get on top of them. So for me, it's hard to give any information. I guess I would have liked to see the financial statement from instead of 2020 to 2021, I would have loved to see June 2021 to May 2022. I would have loved to see the most updated, his P&L, the most updated P&L, because he just gave us the previous years, which this doesn't show me an accurate picture on what's happening now, because that profit and loss from 21 to 22 could look totally different than this from 2020 to 21. You could have a significant profit from the utilization of now this pickup window drive-through. It's technically a drive-through. That's what the code says it is. So I'm gonna call it a drive-through. So it's challenging to see. I don't know if I want to hold the case so they can provide the P&L for 21 to 22 and make that determination. But that's just where I am. So that's where I am with this one.
So that brings us to the fact that he testified that his orders were reduced almost by half, daily orders after he closed the window. Does that have any? I know you don't have numbers of the.
Yeah, no, it does. It does, and I guess I go back, but it's tough. The people still troubling about is them starting an illegal use during COVID, something that was illegal, Johanna. Like, I get the piece that you don't, but to me, they testified they run a takeout business already. It's a takeout business, not sit down, which I'm glad he clarified. It's a takeout business.
So my question is, I think what we actually need to see is prior to 2020, right? Because if you're saying that when the window shut down, your business cut in half, but so where was your business before you were utilizing the window? So if you were at 200 orders a day during COVID, when you were utilizing this illegal use, where were you before? Because if you were at 100 a day before, and then you spiked when you were able to use the window, and now you're back down to 100, then you're where you were.
Does that bring you back to your pre-COVID levels? Yeah,
exactly. So really, we need 3 years to get a full picture. We need pre-COVID, COVID, and current.
He also testified he's not using the dining room, but presumably before COVID, he was using the dining room. So
anybody, if that really was, I mean, I've been in there, and it's
probably. Is it historically a takeout, Cora, sort of?
I think so. I don't think people are going in there too.
But we didn't ask that. And shame. I should have. Johanna, I agree, and that would have been a good question to ask too, because I didn't get that clarification. Sort of, I imagine most people who utilize this restaurant, and from what we sort of testified, utilize it as a takeout. And I think a lot of restaurants that serve food like this, I historically see them as sort of more takeout style, just the type of food. I've seen that. I am inclined, if we were to approve this, I would want to look at those standards. Some of the standards that were previously approved in 2004. So sort of, I would want to approve them for this business. And so basically how it was in 2004, when KFC closed, they lost it. So sort of that language as well, Johanna, as not adding sort of any, can we put in there no sort of microphone ordering system? I don't know what that is called, sort of. A speaker system. I don't want it to turn into a sort of typical drive-through. I think that
any communication systems.
Yeah.
Well, now keep in mind when it had an actual drive-through, which it was when it was Kentucky Fried. Afterwards, the 2004 decision was a special permit to reoccupy as a sit-down restaurant. And they were required to remove, the planning commission decisions in your package, and they had to remove the window and a speaker box and sign structures, including the call box sign. So those are all elements that were in what we typically think of as a drive-through, where you were placing an order. There's an order board and there's a microphone, and you've got the person inside speaking to you, and you're answering them and ordering at the time you arrive at the restaurant. So that was all required to be removed. And what was approved was an actual sit-down restaurant. So when they came in as a sit-down restaurant, which under this 2004 decision. And so what they have done is added the takeout window. But whether that is an actual drive-through, I'm actually looking up our definitions to see if we have anything that better describes a drive-through window, and I'm not sure.
Significantly
different
than having drive up, than people pulling up and ordering at a speaker is far different traffic-wise than.
And other things, it's noise, there's lighting, there's all kinds of other, we've had drive-throughs before. We know what some of the recent one we did on Mount Hope, what are some of the concerns of neighbors about the traditional drive-through, and that's doesn't appear to be what this is.
So I'm inclined to grant with the standards that they've provided. I don't think it wouldn't be necessary for me to provide any additional information. I would condition it with basically taking the removal piece of what was in the planning commission and putting those as commissions. So no speaker box, no more adding no more existing signage, and no rooftop cupola to be added on the exterior. I would add those as conditions, and if I was to be inclined to approve it. I don't know how folks think about that sort of. So we kind of reduce that. So we make sure that they can't, because I think if the code says, I know Johanna's looking it up, so looking up what that definition of a drive-through is, you know, because if we do approve it, you know, if it is a drive-through, can they add those elements unless we condition them out? I guess just what I'm trying to figure out.
I'm with you.
It's not very helpful. I can read it. The principal or accessory use, which by design of physical facilities or by service or packaging procedures encourages or permits customers to receive a service or obtain a product directly while remaining in a motor vehicle, and may include drive-in, outdoor theaters, fast food establishments, banks, and similar uses. So it doesn't,
Get as
it's not very
detailed.
helpful about the design of the physical facilities, but what we all know is that the traditional ones at fast food restaurants have an order board, and it's not just a window in the building. There are more physical facilities. And the other issue is queuing, which, because you're ordering food and paying for it, you're going to be there a longer period of time, and then that results in the problem with queuing that we've heard in many cases. So whether that's an issue here, oh, you found it. There it is too. Okay.
Yeah, with those conditions, I mean, if we condition it to
I think
remain,
because it is vague, it's worth conditioning so that there isn't any sort of vagueness moving forward as well, would be my take.
Can we also, would it be appropriate, Johanna, to condition just some directional pavement markings for the parking lot? Would that, you know, to sort
I
of,
had the same thought, or some kind of
Yeah.
signage.
you know,
Well, you could also put a do not
I
enter.
would just do directional.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the exits themselves. I mean, those are going to operate as I just mean inside the actual, you can't, the exits are going to operate if it's a sit down restaurant, a takeout restaurant. You know, that's not, I don't see that as relevant to sort of what we're looking at in this case.
Do you all feel like you want to go through the standards?
Sure, we can.
Okay. Do you want me to call them out, Tyrese, or do you want to walk everyone through them? I'll tell you that the applicant was willing to take their chance on the amount of documentation they provided. There could potentially have been more, but and we tried to get that, and it was more upsetting to them to come up with the financials, and we got to a point where we decided to let them come before the board with what they had. So this is what they had.
They were basically refusing to provide more P&L information.
That's how it turned out in our pre-meeting, correct?
Okay. Well, that doesn't help them, but okay.
So
Melissa,
do you
I
want
guess I'm not following exactly. Do you think they just didn't have what do you mean they became more upset? They just didn't have the information, or what?
I'm willing to talk about it if, as long as it doesn't come over or and across as any type of bias. But we refused this application because of the amount of documentation and financial information received. We met with them more than once, I believe. It was a meeting where we rejected as much information as they had, and then we had another meeting, and at that meeting it got to a point where we decided to allow them to go before the board with what they had. So we did ask them twice to bring us better financials. We had some of the same questions as this board is naturally coming up with on their own.
Yeah, I think, Johanna, it's going to be hard to get through reasonable to return without seeing P&L. I mean, I can't even get through reasonable return without seeing them. So I'm fine with holding it. And Melissa, maybe it'll come across a little differently if, you know, they understand that this case is dependent on them providing the information the board provided. And if they refuse not to, I mean, we certainly can bring it back, but it's not gonna make it. So that's a decision they'll have to make. I think we definitely have to see profit and loss from, as Cora mentioned, from 2020, from 2019 to 2020, and from 21 to 22. Got to see it. So we got to see the previous year they provided and the year after. Is that fair from the board? I mean, how can we even, what's the reason we're going to give them reasonable return? If we were to approve this with what they've written, someone can sue the pants off, with this, it's just not it's not adequate what they provided financially, documentation, I don't know.
Are you happy to give them a month to get back to you on that then?
Yeah, I'm happy to. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. So Melissa, is that fair? To clear sort of the message back to them?
Yes, I think that's fair, and I think it's exactly where the use variance, why the standards are provided. This is a very high standard to reach, and the purpose is not because something is popular and something is working, but because you're upholding the standards before us, which are much higher of a burden to prove. And so I feel like this board is exactly on the right track, and you picked up on it. It wasn't anything that, nothing influenced you except that amongst yourselves you came up with it. So I'm in favor.
Ooh, Melissa making sure she get that all on record. So I'll make a motion to hold, provided that the additional financial information we've requested is provided. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Melissa, we will have to provide notice of this adjournment because it did not happen at the public meeting, okay?
Okay. I'm sorry, what needed to be provided at the meeting?
The other two, the adjournments that we did during the public hearing, we don't have to provide notification of the adjourned date, but this one we do because the adjournment was not made during the public hearing portion of the case.
Okay, if I have questions, I will.
Yeah. Okay, no problem.
I'll get with you offside.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm very confused about what I'm supposed to say here, Johanna. This motion is carried. This will be held until we'll give the applicants 1 month to come up
Let's
with
hold it for
additional financials.
Next month.
Next month, adjourned to October 20th.
20th, yeah. Yep.
Okay, very good.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Case number 2. This is 951 South Goodman Street. Folks, thoughts?
Yeah, well, having walked down that neighborhood or that street quite a bit, for me personally, I think it's a good thing to have a fence there. And maybe it's just more, I have small children, so whenever there's a chance for a dog or anything, and I think I've seen them out there, and it is very just like right in front of you type of thing. So personally, putting a fence there is okay with me. And I know that there's another house just down the street on Linden that has the exact same thing, and I don't think there's ever been any problem with it. And that's just my take. But personally, I see the request and understand it, and where it's located is okay with me as well. That it's towards the back and it's not coming into the house towards the front of the bump out. So, but at the rear part. So that's my take.
I agree. I mean, I think once, I think that we figured out a lot of the comments. We're thinking it was, in the front of the house, and it's not. I think she clarified, what it's going to look like and where it's going to go. And I think when you get the endorsement of the neighborhood association, especially in that neighborhood. I think that for me, that carries a bit of weight. So I'm okay with that. I would vote in favor, given her testimony and the standards.
I think it's a bit too intense to the sidewalk, but that's where I am right now. You know, I'll be okay if it was to go back to the bump out. I think it should start at the bump out and then 4 feet, 2 feet of lattice minimum. I think with all these cases, I'm not going to be okay with 6 feet solid. I think we've got to do 4 feet with 2 feet of lattice. And I think it'll be less intense if it's pushed to the bump out of the house, the first bump out right there. So ensuring that it, no, it's not. It doesn't go to the first bump out. It comes out further.
No, so that's sort of the rear kind of porch. And I think one of the reasons for the location where it's at is because there's a AC unit right there and her garbage.
Right, and she said that she wanted to hide both of those.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I mean the bump out of that. If that's a porch, the porch. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's where she said, because I clarified to make sure it was going to go where it is in this picture versus further forward on Mulberry.
Okay, well, okay. Okay, she said 3 feet. She said it was going to be 3 feet, and that's certainly more than 3 feet. So, because she did testify that.
No, the 3 feet from the sidewalk towards
yard.
the house, the front
Yeah,
yard.
yeah, but that's more than 3 feet. That's the point I'm getting at. So it's more than 3 feet. So from the bump out, so from the sidewalk to that initial first bump out.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
that
that's
all the way
way
back
more
there.
than 3 feet. Yeah, that's way more than 3 feet.
No, the 3 feet was just that wasn't. She wasn't saying that was 3 feet.
Right. What Tyrese is saying that it should be if you go into the street in front of it, you want it more like 12 feet or whatever it is, 8 feet.
Melissa,
Right.
go back to the survey for me. I can show you.
Okay.
Go back just to the survey. Go to the corner of that and just put the cursor on the corner of that bump out. That one right there. So yeah, that's the line. That's where I would be more comfortable with it going, straight across, right at that corner of that bump out. Less intense on that sidewalk. Sort of if you look at the house right across in the corner, theirs is aligned as well, sort of with the house and is set back with that garage. So if you
like
turn
eight
to Google,
feet.
if you turn to Google, we don't have to put a certain feet. We can specifically put that in the approval that it's aligned with that initial first bump out. I think Melissa understands what we're talking about and she could write that and communicate that. Is that sort of clear? But yeah, what the applicant is providing, it would be a default denial. So I would be okay with approving this with lesser relief.
Did I did I mark it up accurately? This is
You
what
did.
you want?
Yes, you
Okay.
did. The second line. Yep.
Okay.
Cora, your thoughts?
I do like the 4 feet with the lattice because I think it's a good compromise. You're getting some transparency. It's not as aggressive.
I mean, folks in all their applications aren't really articulating well enough on why they can't put up a code compliant fence. Because everyone wants sort of party in the back, sort of everyone's talking about these personal uses.
Right, they want backyards. They want regular backyards, but
yeah, they want regular backyards, but they don't have properties that do. So I certainly get it. And I think it's challenging. It's certainly challenging. I just think it's an education piece. You have to sort of know what's allowed. And I think, they've owned this property since 2017. They bought the property, we're looking at, almost 6 years ago now.
And I think if you can do that solid 4 feet, if we're not saying you have to have 60% transparency on the bottom, you still are getting good coverage by doing 4 feet solid, 2 foot lattice.
I would be willing to do 5 feet, 1 foot lattice. I mean, they got to have some lattice in there. And
It might be
I think
fine just with the 5 feet. I mean, if we say that, they might just say, okay, fine, we'll just cap it there. They could decide on the lattice if they want.
that's true. So yeah, well, yeah, I think you're right. You're right. Thank you. And I think we got to sort of push the vinyl, a big thing about this is that it stays with the life of the property. So taking a look in that case by North Whitten, we know the effects of a wood fence in 20 years from now. Plastic fences are going to have that longer life, longer durability. That's just
personally
Worse for
from
the environment.
right.
Go
Well,
ahead.
what I've seen also from, and I think even that letter, that it being wood goes more with the neighborhood and vinyl does not.
I
Especially-
actually say the same thing. Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
wood is more in line with the neighborhood.
And I understand that it's the longevity of it, but it just,
Character-wise.
vinyl does not fit in that neighborhood. And I would go with wood, not.
Or at least give them the option. I would like to give them the option, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I'm in favor of telling people what kind they have to have. I think it's okay to, say it needs this transparency, or it needs to have lattice or that, but I think we need to leave the material up to them.
so when it's falling apart like the fence across the street 20 years from now.
Then they're gonna have to come again.
Right. No, I get it. Because
That's
the
what
thing too is,
that's where I am.
because
That's
was,
the tough piece, because it's not about them. It's just, it's with the property forever. So we just want to make sure that
Well, I
that
guess
we're
I also think a bright white vinyl fence looks far different in a backyard than on a side.
doesn't have to be white. I mean, they have other plastic materials.
I know they have off-white. I'm just saying, if we can't tell them the material, then we can't tell them the color, right? So I think she had said it was going to match. If it was this one correct, that it was going to match the.
We can certainly tell them the material. We've done that in previous cases. We have certainly conditioned that in previous fence cases.
Walking around the neighborhood,
We have that power to do that, and
I
I
don't
want to
think
make
there's
sure if we're producing something that, if we're approving something that is going to go with the life of the property and something that isn't code compliant and something that I think is pretty intense for this corner. I just think where this, even with I think it's pretty intense for this corner.
Well, what does she desire? What does she want for the material?
She wants vinyl.
Oh, she wants vinyl.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it just makes sense to condition it in there because folks change. And I think for the longevity, it looks, I don't know. I hear you guys about the wood, but I don't buy that, but I hear you. I don't buy it, but I hear you.
If we conditioned it at wood, then if we conditioned it at vinyl, then would that be sort of the theme going forward for like all of these fences?
And that's what worries me is, I think we need to be mindful of characters of the neighborhood and what people are able to do financially and what they want to look at. And so I feel like, obviously Tyree said we've done it in the past, but I sort of feel like we should leave the material up to the people, not to us. And that's just sort of.
Yeah, and I think if we were to do that, we don't condition the material and I think there's been some public comment of regarding the material, and that's why I had brought it up, but I think it's fair also what you're saying to leave it up to them. That's my take.
So it sounds like we are at 5 feet. Yes? No
Yeah.
condition on material?
5 feet or 6 with a 1 foot lattice work?
Lattice.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
Yep.
That's
No, I
reasonable.
thought we were at 4 feet, 2 feet lattice. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I didn't.
okay.
4 feet, 2 feet? I'm fine with
Yeah,
it.
4 feet,
I'm
2
fine
feet
with it.
lattice.
That's fine. That makes sense.
So I'll make a motion to grant it with the condition. No. Yes?
sure, reluctantly, I really do want to condition material, but it'll be a default denial. It's not just where I am. So I know what the applicant said, but I just think we've got an opportunity here, and we've got to be really specific about these things. I mean, it's a wood fence right behind the property, and we see, you know, higher you go, you got a 6-foot fence. I mean, just take an example. We all see this wood, how it's going to look. I won't even say 20 years from now. Wood is just over time. You'll have to go back and paint it. The color is going to change. Yeah, I'm going to stand by mine. So sorry, guys. So if it's not conditioned by material, I'm going to vote no. So whatever you guys, I'm open to whatever, but
I mean, in this particular case, she wants vinyl anyway, so it doesn't really matter if we condition it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's fine.
So then I guess it's just being mindful of that condition going forward in our other cases. And
I look at every property in every neighborhood differently. I look at every property and neighborhood differently. Every case stands on its own.
Okay, so but then would it be?
I mean, she's asking for vinyl. And so I think if we do lesser relief at 4 feet with 2 feet lattice, then I think we've met in a comfortable middle place.
Yeah, and also pushed it back
to align to the.
I'm good with that.
Is it the porch bump out or is that the house? You guys said the porch.
That's the house bump out.
House
bump out.
Yeah.
So Melissa has that, and okay. So there's a motion to grant on the condition that the fence is aligned with the bump out of the house depicted on the survey map. That the fence be up to 4 feet solid with 2 feet of lattice, and that the material of the fence be a vinyl / plastic material, because there's other Trex fences that are sort of vinyl and plastic like material. Okay.
I thought we just decided we weren't conditioning the material. We were just accepting that she said she was going to put in vinyl.
No. I said I wouldn't vote for it unless the material was conditioned. Yeah, so I'm not taking the word of the applicant. Either we're going to condition material, or I was going to vote to decline it. So I mean, I'm open to, So are we okay to condition material? I know Eduardo and Holly, you didn't want to. So if you don't want to, that's fine. I just think it's going to be a default denial, or we can hold the case and wait till October and see if we get a full board and see if other minds are different. That's an option too. So we don't want to hold every case to October. I think they.
Well, I mean, I think the idea of conditioning fences is one that we have to figure out. Conditioning material. I feel like if we do it in one, then it's going to continue to be an issue moving forward.
I don't think so, but I hear what you're saying. I hear you. I don't think so, but I hear you. It's been done very differently, I think, previously. It's all been done differently in different cases. So I think the difference, looking at Bay Street, that one's different because it's installed. That's a different case. We got to sort of look at that one differently. We can't require 2 feet of lattice because that's already installed. Or we can make the applicant take it down. But I don't want to get ahead of ourselves with Bay Street. I want to stay here. So
I'm reluctant to condition on material, except for the fact that it is what is desired by the applicant. If it were up to me, I understand all of the wood ideas, comments, all that stuff. However, I think wood is more in line with the neighborhood, but since that's not the direction she's going in, again, I'm reluctant to condition on the material, but if that's going to get this lady, I'm fine with it.
I mean, I guess my, putting the concept of conditioning materials aside and just looking at this, if we accept people's testimony as being the truth, then why would we condition the material if she says that's what she's going to do?
Verifying, gotta verify. because it's not conditioned. So they can change their mind. They can change their mind. I know what they testified.
Actually, Holly, her application says vinyl or wood, so I don't think she's committed
Okay.
to.
Okay, I'm looking at the staff report and it just says vinyl.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, she writes in her statement of difficulty.
So it looks like we're kind of going in circles. So
No, I think so. We got a decision. So we can either hold the case, or we can take a vote with material or without material being conditioned. So we got 3 options. Let's decide now because it's 8.
right. I'm fine with the conditions.
Ali, Eduardo, where are we with conditions?
1 second. I just wanted to just get back to me real quick. Hold on. Because I just want to see, one thing that I wanted to look at was the neighborhood association's approval. They wanted the style. I think she had said that she was going to go with that scallop picket or panel basket weave fencing. So I don't know if that comes also in vinyl. And that's what the neighborhood association had said that they were okay with because they had talked to her about that specific style. Doesn't say material, but it does say style. So yeah. I would prefer not to condition the material just because, not to move ahead, but just because someone else has already built it and it's wood, then it's okay type of thing. So I don't know. I'm a little hesitant to move forward with that. But
Why don't we hold it? Because it sounds like there's a lot of questions and nobody's super sure. So why don't we hold it for next week? We have next month. We have a full panel.
But there's no additional information you need from her, or is there?
There's no additional information she'll get from us. I mean, so we need a sort of reason to hold. So I think we gotta take a vote. We gotta take a vote.
You said that she said somewhere in the application that she was open to wood, but where am I missing?
What I was looking at was the 2nd or 3rd page of the staff report, which is called the project information. I think that's her information, right? And there
Yes,
she
it
says,
is.
that's just detailed number 6.
Oh, okay. Yep.
See,
okay.
there it says vinyl or wood.
Yep, I was looking in the others. Thank you.
So if there's a default denial, can she come back and reapply strictly
Yes,
vinyl?
she can. Yep, default denial. She can come back.
I mean, and I'm okay with the fence, and I don't know if anyone else.
Yeah, we're good there. I think that's the material. The material is the piece that we're holding on to. Just the material. So it's okay not to be there, guys. It's definitely okay. This is fine.
Yeah, we just gotta make a vote. and she can come back if she wants to.
If there's a default denial. So why don't Cora go ahead, call a motion, and let's see.
May I ask a question? Melissa, do we charge her an application fee though? Then if she does that, correct? If the default denial and she comes back, she's going to be charged an application fee. So the other thought is whether you adjourn this when she would not be charged a new application fee.
But I thought we determined we can't really adjourn it because we don't have a reason.
Well, if you can adjourn it for the reason that you want to clarify with her what materials she's willing, because she did put in her application wood or vinyl. And if her,
that could be a reason. That could be a reason.
And if her, and also this scalloped fence, I guess is that the last page of the picture packet that sort of looks like a stockade, except it's scallop. Is that the one that the neighborhoods association is supportive of?
Yeah, and if it comes in vinyl, then
yeah, because that's wood. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are all the,
Is that the one that they were supporting? Because then that's contrary to her suggestion of vinyl.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion and you're gonna get my vote because I want to move this along with all due respect. So you're good. I'll do no material because we gotta move this along. I apologize. But this is like over this fence. So I'm okay. I'll vote in favor. We won't condition material. So I'll make a motion to grant with the condition that the fence align with the bump out of the home and that the fence is solid up to 4 feet with 2 feet of lattice. You got my vote. Is that fair? I want to move this along. You
Yeah.
convinced me, Holly. You convinced me on this one. So motion to grant. Although, go ahead, Melissa, and call the roll. Sorry.
Oh, okay, I'll start with Cora. How do you vote?
Grant.
Holly?
Grant.
Eduardo?
grant.
Tyrese?
Grant.
The
Great.
motion
All right,
carries.
y'all, we got a lot of fences.
I'm only trying to work.
Let's get off the fence.
I'm only trying to work a half a day tomorrow. Come on, guys.
It's nice
Labor Day weekend.
Get off the fence, evereveryone. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously.
That's more fences though.
I think this is
We
the
got
first
more
meeting-
fences. That's why I'm like, we got more. We can keep it
All right.
some days more.
I think this is the first meeting since I've been on the board where we have not had a pole sign. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to not have a pole
You're
sign.
right.
Oh my God.
Don't worry, code enforcement won't make them take them down anyway. No, I'm sorry.
2 years of pole signs. It's a nice change.
Okay, case number, you ready, Melissa? We good?
Yes, we're good. So the motion
case-
carries. This is granted to approve on condition. Condition of the bump out and the fence being 4 foot solid, 2 foot lattice.
Perfect. Weldon Street. So the only question I had here was, where is the new fence is being pushed into line with the house or out?
Out.
That's it's being pushed out.
Out, yeah, closer to the sidewalk.
Okay, so I would prefer for it to stick in a line with the house.
She said 2 feet from the sidewalk. So it's further out than it is now. And I think she said that it was to cover something.
So
And if I could read my handwriting, I could tell you what that is.
The shrubbery, I believe. She said the
Oh, yeah.
existing shrubbery.
And is there like a unit of some kind? A something unit? The carrier fan.
AC. Okay.
so where it says bamboo fence on the survey, that's the existing, correct? Yep.
Yes. And the
Okay,
new is
so
that other
That
line
bump
to
out,
the
the little
left.
line. I think the bump out should remain. What are folks' thoughts there? I won't fight you on material tonight, but it's more fighting to come on material in the future, just letting you know. But how do folks think about keeping the alignment where it is along with the house? That's why I look at this picture and I drove past there and I was like confused. Like what? Because it
So
wasn't.
it's on the other side. It's on the other side.
Oh, so I was looking at the wrong fence.
Oh, wait, is it? Wait, actually,
that's why I
well,
was
because if you go to the other side, maybe I'm confusing my,
It's not the
No,
fence on the side of the house. It's the fence.
no,
across the
it's
street.
right.
That's
You were,
oh, yeah, that's the front yard. So that
you
fence
were-
is
you were
already
correct.
bumped out, it looks. It's not correct on
Oh,
the
sorry.
door. The map isn't
I was
correct.
confusing the ones.
Wait,
So I didn't
now I'm
understand.
confused.
Where are we? No.
The survey and what's out there isn't right. So
Wait, what's her address again?
247.
that was the one in 19th Ward.
Yeah,
Is
Yeah,
this the right house?
I don't think
No.
this is the right house.
yeah,
Okay.
that's not the right house. That's
It's
not.
right across
That's
the
why we're
street.
confused.
It's on the
Sorry.
other corner. Yep, that one.
Back
Not a
up.
little bit.
There it is.
This is the house. Sorry.
Now
Yeah.
go to the side. Now go to the side there.
Yeah,
So see, she has already kind of
See?
like,
that's where the posts are.
Yeah.
yeah.
She said that there were posts, like that there's cement or something already there.
Okay.
So all
from
these
some
bushes are coming out?
previous time. No, she wants to keep the bushes. So the bushes would be between the fence and the sidewalk.
See, I feel like here,
You guys aren't gonna get me with the bump out.
I mean, I think that 2 feet is reasonable, but I also think that it's reasonable for it
The
to be
current
in line with
alignment
the-
is pretty reasonable, isn't it?
Yeah, so
Well,
the
it is-
original,
Aligning it with the house is reasonable, absolutely.
so the original is what's there, right? What's running behind it?
That's the
Yeah,
bamboo,
the
what they're
bamboo,
talking
the
about.
That's the
bamboo.
She
bamboo.
wants to
She's
take that
saying-
down and move it up.
Yes, she's
Yeah.
saying
Where
that
the
there
fence are.
was another fence at some point where she wants to put the current one. But that doesn't mean,
Look, is that an air conditioning unit that this new
yeah,
fence will now
that's why she
hide?
wants to, that's
Yeah.
why she wants to move it. She wants to enclose that.
So I would be willing to offer Melissa and board that you take that post there and you jug out to cover the air condition, but not the entire fence. That's very possible to jug those posts out and do that.
And just do like a bump out kind of.
A bump out, yeah, and then bring it right back to the house.
The thing
Yep,
and then bring it back to the house.
yeah, because that's less intense there than bringing the entire thing up. What are folks' thoughts on that?
I think that
agree.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
We okay with the same thing? 4 foot, 2 foot, 2 foot ladder?
2 foot.
yep.
Melissa, is that clear? Sort of what we're talking about?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to write this up. So you're saying to move that, the forward post up even further towards, Weldon Street?
I would say I don't have the exact measurement. That's the problem.
Basically to wrap around the
The
AC
air conditioning
unit.
unit.
Yeah, because does it look like it's, for some reason, it?
How do you want to, Johanna? How would we write that where we don't have exact measurements? So how would we sort of write that in a?
Yeah, so I don't know exactly, but we'll have to write so that the fence can come out, it looks like about 2 feet from the sidewalk. Around, in that area around the air conditioning, and once it gets back to the house, then it has to be
Align.
Align with the,
have
align
just
with the
the
existing
current
fence.
fence, yeah.
Yeah. I think too. I don't think. Yeah. Honestly, I think you can still get, even if you don't have to bring it out that 2 feet from the sidewalk. 'Cause
Well,
I
where
mean,
that post is, I don't know, I don't know. what
yeah,
that-
because I mean, my only thing is providing enough clearance for them to service the unit. So
Right,
that's just
right.
my thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's put a post in there already, so presumably that's adequate to get to the air conditioning units.
Okay.
So it's
right?
it's not gonna turn and go towards a house at all, because of all the shrubbery and stuff there, right? It's just
no,
gonna
it will.
be,
No, it will. It will. They'll just have to. They'll have to do something with the shrubbery to get a post there, but they need to enclose it. Yeah.
oh, okay,
Bump it out and bring it back to the house.
okay.
So I think what you're saying is, like here, how she has it drawn. Can you guys see that at all? Yeah, and then
Yeah, I wish I could.
kind of coming back, and then when it hits the house, it goes
Yeah.
back
Yes,
to the alignment,
yeah, along where
So-
the fence is, bamboo fence, yeah.
something like that.
The post just won't be. You'll just get rid of that post right there on the corner and probably bring that post up a bit. So it just won't be a post right along the house there. You'll bring that post back so you can walk around and get to the unit.
Okay. All right, so,
So it won't be up as far as you drew it, but yeah, it'll be sort of like that. Yeah. So if you bring what
Okay.
you drew back, just to cover. So in the condition to ensure that there is appropriate or adequate clearance for the air conditioning unit. Let's say 2 feet then. Let's say 2 feet. Just so we can have something in there. So let's just say 2 feet.
okay, so everyone agrees with how Eduardo drew it?
Well, I think I moved just now, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was farther down.
bringing
before.
it back. Yeah, just bring it.
Yeah, bringing it back, so that
Yeah.
that covers, and yeah, okay, so bring it back, because that little out, I don't know, what you would call it, but that seems to be right where the
Yeah,
AC is
'Cause
located.
technically AC units aren't supposed to be in the front yard of the house anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Right. And also, like, let's not let the AC unit dictate the whole thing being pushed forward, where it can just have to go around it.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I think I understand. I'm
Okay,
ready.
perfect. So I'll make a motion to grant, to approve, a 6-foot fence with 4 feet of solid fence and 2 feet of lattice, with an appropriate bump out of around approximately 2 feet for the air conditioning unit. And that the fence be aligned, that the fence be aligned with the house, to the garage.
I will second all of what Tyrese just said.
Melissa will make it make sense.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out.
okay. All right, so let's go around and, Eduardo,
Yes.
did someone second? Sorry.
I
Oh,
seconded.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Okay, so Eduardo,
I approve.
Grant. Okay. Holly,
Grant,
Cora,
Yes.
Tyrese.
Grant.
Okay, so the motion is affirmed and it is approved on condition that the fence can be 6 foot tall, 4 feet solid, 2 feet. Where this is a bamboo fence, we're doing the lattice on the bamboo on the.
We're not dictating material.
So-
So I just say 4 feet of privacy, 2 feet of lattice of
4 feet.
solid. Yep,
Okay, 2
and 2
feet
feet of lattice.
lattice. Okay, and that it has an appropriate bump out of 2 feet to surround the AC unit, and the fence itself should be aligned with the house, from the house to the garage.
Correct.
Great. Next case.
Oh, wrong case. Oh, Bay Street. Folks thought on Bay Street, wanted to go out and put 2 feet of lattice on it or a foot of lattice on it.
Anyone?
You gonna approve what's there?
Folks thoughts on Bay Street.
Yes. Well, so Bay Street already exists. It's a legalization.
Right, so. You gonna leave it?
No,
said-
she needs to go put some lattice on it.
She's
I'm
gonna
okay
cut it
with it.
down? She's gonna cut it down and add lettuce? Did she say that?
No,
No.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. I'm okay with a foot of lattice here, but she's gotta go she's 6 foot of solid. It's tough here with this one. Was that one, did they have, I think that one was the wood. Oh God, it was getting dark out there.
Is there a picture, Melissa?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
do
the
we
one
have a
with
picture?
wood
Yeah, I'm sorry.
all around, and it has
Yeah, I went
it has
last
the
week.
post sticking out a little bit higher than the wood fence.
Yes.
And I mean, in this neighborhood, because it seems to me like for her privacy and safety, she has added that 6 foot high fence.
Mhm.
I guess. Yeah, I'm okay with the fence, but I'm open for discussion as well.
Oh, that's fine. I'm okay with it too. I think we probably didn't go through Johanna the standards because she didn't write anything basically in like 2 of them.
Yeah, she did better when we asked her questions about this.
Yeah, right. So I don't know, Melissa, did you have enough information to sort of, from the oral testimony?
All right, so there's what it looks like. Do you want her
Yeah.
at least to cut down
Cut
those?
down the
posts?
post.
Yeah, cut down the posts.
Cut down the post.
Okay.
That That's a $3,000 fence, huh?
Well,
That's-
yeah, I mean, that's like an
Material
8-foot
costs
fence
have
there.
increased. Material costs have increased. I will say that.
What
Yeah.
is up?
You think it's exceeds, that's higher than 6?
It does look a little higher on one side, right? Or is that just the ground
And
is?
can you guys, well,
I
can
think
you
it's the
all-
ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll prove it as 6. I mean, you guys, the code enforcement just has to sort of go out
Get
there.
out there and measure.
And they have to take it from there, honestly. But I would condition it that the existing posts are cut down as well to 6.
For sure. Agreed.
Agreed.
I mean, the posts can be 5 feet, but the posts are cut down to match the level of the fence, the height of the fence.
Okay, that sounds good.
So a motion to grant, to approve, motion to grant and to accept the standards, in the application. I think, Melissa, I think significance and physical environmental just needs some bump up. So if we can just take some of her oral testimony she provided and just spruce that up a bit.
You got it.
And that the posts are cut down to the height of the fence.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'll take Holly's second. All right, so let's go around the table. Eduardo,
Oh, yeah, I grant.
granting on the condition to cut down the post to match the height of the rest of the fence. Okay, Cora,
Correct.
Grant.
Holly,
Grant.
Tyrese.
Grant.
Okay, so the motion carries. This case will be granted on condition that the posts are cut down to match the height of the fence. Next case.
I just have to mute and hide my video for a second while I let my dog in, but I'm still here.
Okay, great. Okay, next case.
Case number 5, South Avenue. Initial thoughts on this one. So just hitting this one through the standards. I mean, certainly looking at the benefits of the applicant, they certainly don't outweigh the detriment. The applicant is not fully utilizing the property. The driveway, he has a very long driveway and a garage that's not being utilized currently.
South
But this,
Avenue, you think his driveway is long? I thought it was, no?
you don't think 3 cars plus a driveway, you don't think 4 cars can fit in that driveway? Honestly, you don't think 3 to 4 cars can fit in that driveway?
On South Avenue? I thought the driveway was short, but maybe I'm misremembering.
No, he said it fits that many.
Oh, well then.
Yeah,
I guess it didn't seem that long. It seemed like a short.
I backed into the driveway. It's a. I'm not saying it's long, but it's a. You can fit a few. You can fit more than 1 car in the driveway by itself.
2. Yeah, he said he can fit 2, and a car can fit in the garage. He just doesn't.
Okay. Oh, I guess it
That's
is longer than I thought. Okay. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and I think the other piece too is when you talk about essential character, you look at all those homes on South Avenue.
Yeah.
Everyone has
That's a problem.
this is certainly out of character. I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen multiple. When I was there, the car was parked right there over the walkway. When I pulled in to the driveway, no other remedy. There's obviously other remedies. He can utilize the driveway. You can't really offer a variance just for convenience of not having to go out and move your car.
Which everybody who lives in the city has to shuffle their cars.
You got to, everyone who has a single driveway, wherever, you have to. Significance, I do think this is pretty significant because it is you basically have a car parked right across the front yard and sort of in front of the front yard. I personally saw it when I was out there, and you can see it on all the Google Maps, all the photos that have been
It goes right over
provided.
the sidewalk.
It goes right over the
It's
sidewalk.
it's not a turnaround. It's a driveway. It's a secondary
It's a
driveway.
parking spot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not adequate either.
Turnarounds don't exist. You can't. Turnarounds are in the code. It's a parking spot. That's what it's considered. And, you know, so I think he fails on multiple standards right there. Physical and environmental conditions. I do think it's already having negative impact with having that excessive asphalt and stone across the front yard. And obviously it was self-created. He put it in 2018 himself. Well, yeah.
Yep.
You know, and so he admitted to that. So, you know, I'll make them. Anybody had any other thoughts on this one? Where were folks at with this one?
Can you repeat what you said about remedy?
There
Is
is
there
no
another-
room.
There is no remedy. Oh, remedy. Yeah, there is a remedy. He can utilize the garage space and he can utilize the driveway to park in the single driveway. He's not utilizing that option just because the applicant, out of convenience, doesn't want to move his car because there's two vehicles in the car and they don't want to have to move their vehicles or shuffle them, which again, that's something about living in the city. And you bought a property, and then it's not as if, you know, I don't think I would have granted even so if it was like this, but you bought a property and then in 2018, you lived in a property from 2010, then another vehicle arrives in the property and then you make this change. So all of those factors adding up, it's a condition that you purchased the house in 2010 and where you are. Tough one, not a tough one here. I think this one is pretty cut and dry. It's totally out of character with this neighborhood. I drove down that whole South Avenue. No one has additional asphalt paved. Everyone has a single car. I didn't even see any two-door garages. Everyone had a two-car garages. Everyone had a single garage with a single driveway. Was that everybody's feeling as well?
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
Yep.
Make a motion to grant?
Yeah, I'll second that motion. With the condition, well, we won't have to condition it, Johanna. You'll have to rip that out and put back grass, correct? So we don't need to touch that, correct?
No, you're denying, right?
Yep.
Right,
So
I mean, it's illegal, so they will have to remove it. You don't need to mention that in the.
Okay,
in the
perfect.
decision. You're just denying his request to legalize that.
okay, so I'll second that motion.
Okay, so we'll take a vote around the table. Tyrese,
Deny.
Eduardo,
Deny.
Cora,
Deny.
Holly.
Deny.
Okay, the motion carries. It's unanimous granting to deny. Did I do that right?
No, just deny.
Just deny,
It's a denial of the application.
deny of the application. Okay. Thank you. I will get that right someday.
It's
Okay. All right. Case number 6.
Where are folks at? I sort of have the same thoughts here.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's even more parking here. You got
There
two
is
cars.
no parking here.
Holly pressed the applicant on utilizing the garage, and it was like, no, those are for the motorcycles.
Okay,
Cars.
yeah, no, plenty
Yeah.
of parking, plenty of driveway.
Yeah, that's pretty excessive back there, and you know, you can be a little creative there and be able to move.
I mean,
get
they're
out of the
taking.
driveway
I
safely.
mean, there's. I mean, we're talking about what is it? 71% lot coverage here.
That's huge lot coverage.
Yeah.
That's 71%.
At first, see, at first I was confused because I thought he was going to increase even more, and I was like, "What? He's going to take down that tree?" But then, because I didn't get it, because that's how it was when I went by there. There was 2 cars back there. You can fit a third one. You
And
know?
drive all the way back there.
And then plus you got, and then you're not utilizing a 2-car garage.
A 2-car garage.
2-car garage.
So what happens with the denial? He has to regrow grass.
Grass.
Yeah, gotta
Yeah,
remove
yes, no.
the illegal paving because the
Yeah,
the
that's
main
illegal.
issue here is lot coverage and he's got to
Okay.
remove that.
Yeah, I just think 71% is
Yeah, it's
It's a
excessive.
lot.
Significant.
that's
And you can see
significant.
the neighbor. There's 2 cars in the driveway. You know, people do that. So
So I'll make a motion to grant.
I'll second.
Okay, so around the table, Holly,
Deny.
Cora,
Deny.
Eduardo,
Deny.
Tyrese.
Deny.
Okay, the motion stands. This case is denied. How'd I do?
Okay, that works.
Okay, awesome. All right, moving it along, guys. We're
everyone.
doing very good. Case number 7.
Wait, I thought we were done.
No, it was-
Oh, damn. I'm like, good night, everybody.
Good night,
Forgot about this
everybody.
one.
Out.
Almost.
Cora
Hang in,
ain't
hang
working
in
tomorrow.
there.
I can tell you she's not
Don't
working
you want
tomorrow.
to do one more offense? Come on, Cora.
I forgot about this one.
Okay, so this is 14 Marsden. Go ahead.
I'm okay with this one. We're accepting the standards with just 4 feet of solid, 2 feet of lattice. Is that fine? I'm okay with the entire thing.
Yep,
And I'm okay with accepting the standards the applicant has provided.
Yeah.
This has been there significantly. This is even bigger than a corner lot. This is like a
It's a strange big lot.
Weird.
Yeah,
triangle
it's a big
lot.
lot.
I mean, this is
Yeah. It's such a weird corner.
Yeah.
yeah. She basically has 2 corners. Honestly, she's got
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, she does.
So I'll make a motion to grant and accepting the standards in the application with the condition that the fence be no higher than 4 feet solid with 2 feet of lattice.
Second.
Okay. You guys are a little bit faster than I am. Hang on one sec.
We're good.
Okay. All right, we'll go around the table. Eduardo.
Grant.
Okay. Cora,
Grant.
Holly.
Grant.
I always save Tyrese for last. Tyrese.
Grant,
Grant.
I
All
will
right.
save you to fight my material battle another day, Holly.
All right. Okay, so the motion carries that this case is approved. On condition that it be installed 4 foot solid with 2 feet of lattice.
Okay, I
Okay.
think that ends our deliberations here.
That last one.
I think we'll see each other in 2 weeks, correct?
We're in person.
Yes, we
in 2
will.
weeks.
Person.
In
I won't
person in
be.
2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't be there. I'll
Okay.
be out of town, but I'll see you the one after that. So the cases that get pushed for this next, the one that we're doing, the one on Mulberry and Goodman, that's October, not September, not the one in 2 weeks.
Correct.
Correct. Yeah. Okay.
See you guys in 2 weeks.
All
Good
right.
night,
Thanks, you
everyone.
guys. Good night.
Bye, Betty.
Thank you.
Melissa, I'll let you know if I'm gonna be a couple minutes late for the meeting or not. I can email you whether I have jury duty or not.
In September, right?
In September, yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Good luck.
So, okay, thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.